For you. It is hilarious how stupid some of you black chicks get in my comments. You absolutely do not know when to shut the fuck up. You want to know what's wrong with the black community? Black women is what's wrong with the black community. You want to know why it's so hard to find a good black man? Black women is the reason why it's so hard to find a good black man. You've just spent the last 400 years training black men to find everything about a white woman attractive. You wear white girl hair, white girl eyelashes, white girl makeup, white girl perfume, specially designed for white girl genetics to carry their pheromones to the right receptors. And then you don't even wear it right, you dump it on so you go around smelling like a Shell station bathroom. You'll burn your scalps with flat irons and chemicals and sweat your asses off up under them hot-ass wigs just so you can shake your hair out and do a Becky. But you know what you never see Becky doing? You'll never see Becky wearing an Afro wig, not unless it's part of a costume or she's a clown. Someone's not watching the board, you dig?
What's going on about this Afro think tank? You know, I find it very, very offensive. Very offensive when white dudes talk to black women with like this smug authority, right? In certain ways. Like, it's kind of weird, like as an African American, you know, knowing all the history of the white man being able to have his way with my black woman for centuries, unchallenged by anybody, and never held accountable for the centuries upon centuries of just free, devilish, subhuman activity against our women. I just find it so offensive when they have any criticisms towards our black women, right? Of their situation, of their plight, because the black woman's situation is directly affected by the decision making of European men, right? And as a black man who has pride and love for my women, I get like physically offended when I hear, even if that white guy is being like an advocate, like even if he's trying to defend like black dudes from toxic black women, right? I mean, like, that's my toxic black woman. Who the hell are you to tell my toxic black woman not to be toxic? That's not your job, right? The reason why she's toxic, because you created the toxicity, right? If she's toxic, it's your fault. Yeah, you want to come around and be Captain Save One, huh? You want to be the hero, right? They always try to make themselves a hero even though they're the true villain, right? And I think it has to do with just the overwhelming obsession that they have with our women. It ain't nothing we can do about it. These white men love our goddamn women. Even the ones that pretend like they're racist, they just love our women. And I think the racist ones are upset that they don't measure up to what it is black women is supposed to have. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, the white woman is jealous of the black man's masculinity because they don't feel like they measure up, right? So, and then they're also intimidated by the black woman because of her strength. Because the black woman is meant to be with the black man. The black woman is strong because the black man is strong, right? And so, but the white male is usually two different kinds. You got the soft white male who is willing to capitulate and kind of subjugate his masculinity portion of the relationship in order to be with the black woman because they value, or, you know, in some cases we say they fetishize the whole idea of being with a black woman. Because, you know, black woman comes with a lot, right? They come with a soul, they come with good cooking, they come with great skin, they come with personality, they come with empathy, I guess things that maybe they don't see that their woman comes with, right? There's more features with the black woman, right? But if you notice, they either have to be subservient to the black woman, i.e., I'm gonna make a prime example. You know that Prime show, Lioness? You know, with the black actress from Guardians of the Galaxy, where she's playing like an operative, right? And look how they depict the husband, the white male, right? They made him not a nurse, but a doctor, right? They put him on the soft, feminine Karen side to contrast her strong, dominating side, right? Depicting a black woman being strong and dominating, being able to be in that position, right? But to contrast, they picked a soft yet accomplished, intelligent to counterbalance her intelligence and her strength as a warrior. They made him like a nurse. They had to counterbalance it, right? They would never make a show like that and make that white guy like a plumber or like anything. He has to be either equivalent, but on the soft side to capitulate to her strength, or, you know, or it just doesn't make any sense. Or they can't like depict themselves as being tough and overbearing, because then that looks like, oh, you just a slave master with a slave fetish, right? Because we know there's a lot of white men that have slave fetishes, right? And we like, this is a fact. They have slave fetishes. They want to enslave. They have themselves a black woman and they can enslave her. She bows down to him. She serves him. It's his own personal little off the record slave, right? And he also has the, you know, to right, far as he's concerned, to delete her, to take her life, because they take that option quite often, right? And so they hate the black man because he's the competition for what they want and desire. But at the same time, when they get with the black woman, they're usually taking the subservient position. Look at all the black female YouTubers who make content about their mixed relationships. Who's the man in the relationship? It's always the black woman. And the white guy's subservient, soft, like that seems to be the position they want to put themselves in, but they're not willing to be soft and subservient to the white woman. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't see really white women being able to take that position as strong and you know, and tough and a warrior, and the white man is in a subservient position. You never see that, right? Because white men will never put themselves in a subservient position to their white women, and they won't even depict it on TV unless there's a few jokes, right? But when it comes to the black woman, they always put themselves in the subservient position, which I think is a psychological thing, right? So, and then we both know that there's a lot of racist men who have and date black women who are willing to date racist white men, right? Just like there's a lot of racist white women who want to date and have a black man, because it goes the same way with the black man. The racist white woman sees the black man as the most dominant, sexy example of masculinity in males on the planet. That's what they want. But at the same time, they have to defend their brother, their father, their side, right? It's real messy, you know, with these white folks, right? And so everybody has to deal with their messiness because they react to each other differently, right? And so you got the racist side and the non-racist side, but they're both trying to dominate and possess the black woman and the black man. They don't want to give us up, but they don't want us around. It's kind of weird, you know? It's odd, and they can't be truthful with themselves. And the ones that are truthful to themselves are deemed as race traitors. The ones that are not truthful to themselves are deemed as racist, even though we know the ones that are deemed as racist are also in the same category of those closeted homosexuals, i.e. the Republican Party, Crash and Grinder every time they get together. And then you got the ones that's outside of the closet, which is the progressive Democrats, who are always getting blamed for being homosexuals. And yeah, you see what I'm saying? There's always a sexual tint to it. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this in the comment section. This Afro Think. Learn something, teach them. I'm out.
So some racist ass, redneck ass white dude got on my TikTok and decided he was gonna make the comment, "Is the baby black?" asking for a friend. This is up under the picture that I posted of me being pregnant, okay? I don't get it. Like, what does it matter? I am so sick of these hating-ass white men who are just mad because the white women go be with a black dude. Or the hating-ass black women who are mad because black man want to be with a white man. With a white woman, I'm sorry. Maybe you black women need to go get with these white men. Maybe you white men need to go find you a black woman, because you don't see that very often, but when you do see it, they are cute as hell together. And what the fuck are y'all afraid of? Are y'all afraid that racism is going to end? Hell, if the whole world was black and white, or black and Mexican, or black and Chinese, however, what the hell will we be able to be racist about?
So this is a tough one to talk about. I don't see any way around it. And let me apologize in advance to those white men who I am acquainted with and respect and love. but you've got to speak what's true. Pedophilia, victimizing of people who you have power over. In this case, the victimizing of children who you have power over. Has anyone noticed that in every arena, it is rich white men who dominate the field? We know Epstein, where it's so distressing that some of the richest men on the planet habitually sexually abused children. SA'd, I think I'm supposed to say, children. And they were tied together in secrecy, in keeping each other's secrets for decades. They were tied together financially. I think it was, if you deal with me financially and you become dependent or become intertwined, you're less likely to ever reveal anything about the things we've been doing in the dark. The same sort of ethic is true in churches, the Catholic Church, which for beyond decades, century, kept the secrets of the white male priests who were essaying children. The same is true in small pastorates, small churches, where the pastor has a lot of power. Don't anybody say, oh yes, but it doesn't just have to do with that. I mean, a lot of women, still support these people. Sure they do. As long as women are in any way financially dependent on men, they're going to go along with almost anything, and that's just the truth. The latest, and I saw this morning on TikTok, and it was so distressing. You know the whole latest thing about we're going to declare certain occupational fields as not professional fields. I heard that and I thought, well, that's the dumbest thing. That has no point. What is the point of that? Well, the first thing I looked at was that, well, if you look at the fields, and I wrote them down, it's like master's degree in education, a CNA, which is a medical helper, physician's assistants, social workers, occupational therapists, physical therapists are no longer, and there's more, they're no longer, well, I thought they had one thing in common. They were the fields women were in. Now, what does it matter? It matters because if they are declared to be not professional fields, people cannot get financial aid to assist them in getting the education necessary to go into the field. Got it? No financial assistance able for a master's degree in education or physical therapy or physician's assistant. And why does that matter? Reason one, these are fields dominated by women. These are ways women can become financially independent, can become able to support themselves and their families. But number two, I didn't even think about till I saw it this morning on TikTok. And Creator, forgive me please for not noting down your name. These fields, every one of them that I named, are mandated reporters of child abuse. You get me? The white male federal government is saying, oh, they're not real fields anymore. Every one of them is mandated to report signs of child abuse. What to say? What to say? White men are the problem. White men, and white men particularly who desire power, money, are the problem. White men who cannot control their urges are the problem. White men who present a face of honesty and rectitude and caring, but who aren't, who are essaying children, are the problem. The secrecy is the problem. God help us all.
Racist white men love the thought of being with a black woman. They will go all day long, call them all types of names, in comment sections being jackasses, and then behind closed doors be in love with the thought of being with a black woman.
I don't know why anybody's surprised by the fact that racist men date black women all the time. If you look at the January 6th white supremacist rioters, a lot of them were sitting next to their black wives in court. I've seen this with people that I know that they have found out their entire time that their white boyfriend were saying racist stuff about them. I myself have had experiences where I've realized that a white guy I was talking to had like secret racist fantasies and like was generally like borderline racist. The key to this is to asking questions at the beginning, and if you see any signs, if you see just the smallest sign, run, because that man is racist. It's not about actually genuinely liking you, it's about having power over you. It's a power dynamic. We have seen this throughout history, and history only repeats itself. It wasn't until like 3 months into my situationship where this man started exposing who he really was, and he was racist as heck. So yeah, it's very, very common.
And have y'all noticed that white men love cheating on white women with black women? Like, this has happened entirely too many times in my own experience, where older white men specifically will approach me and they'll be married. And I just think it's so crazy because the world likes to frame it like black women are just so undesirable, but here y'all are cheating on your wives, your girlfriends with black women. Like, y'all are actually obsessed and just want to pretend like y'all aren't. That's the crazy part about it. But yeah, ladies, just be wary of that. When your man is going out, 9 times out of 10, he's probably hitting on somebody else when you're not around. And the fetish for black women genuinely has to be studied because it's actually creepy.
If you're a white man dating black women in this country right now, your life is in danger. The reason why no one is ever talking about this is 1, because it's the least common dating dynamic and racially, and 2, because the only people who feel like they have the platform to talk about it are black women. But I believe I have the platform to talk about anything I want, so I will. If you're like me and you date black women, you need to have a firearm on you at all times. You need to have a concealed carry with you at all times. The reason I say this is because when I bring a black woman with me in public, I can't tell you how many times I've been threatened. I've had black men attempt to intimidate me, attempt to stare me down, and act completely inappropriate and violent towards me just because I have a black woman with me.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that? I'm sorry, man. No, I wasn't thinking about it when I did it.
Continuing the absolutely tragic story of a daughter of a black woman who married a racist white man and had 2 mixed children. So if you're following, I'm on the part where I now live in New Jersey with my family, and we're talking about Christopher. So the last place we left off with Christopher is that he was a drug addict. He lived in the basement of the house. He had a lot of open needles, canisters, OD'd a lot, and used Narcan. I witnessed a lot of like revival and drug usage. My mother was also MIA, you know, reconnecting with her family because apparently my parents were separated at the time. So continuing on Christopher. So unfortunately with Christopher is he had ferrets that he kept in the basement, and he would use those ferrets to lure me in the basement because I really liked animals. And when I was down there, he would do inappropriate things. He would, you know, touch and do all these other things. So we're just going to kind of leave it where it is. You get what the point is. And one specific time he lured me down there with the ferrets, but before I went down there, he said, go up to your grandmother and have her put on the makeup that I like, that blue eyeshadow and red lipstick, and then come back down in that pink kimono that your dad sent for you from Korea, and just that, well, and panties and just that. So I, obeying adult figures, did that. I put on the makeup, I went downstairs. He had me down there, showed me the ferrets, and then he was like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a couple pictures of you because you look so beautiful right now. I could eat you up. So he puts me in front of, he had this like wall of Playboy posters and of naked women in thongs and stuff. And he posed me and he had me take pictures. So again, this story is very traumatic. If you get bothered at any point, please feel free to exit. I am not going to be offended. But he has me take various different poses with the kimono on, off, half off, you know, my little tushy showing, like all kinds of different things. And then he has me lay on the bed and he does whatever he's going to do. And he did that multiple times. So he actually kept those photos. I found later on that he was trading those photos for drugs. And he kept a few for himself that wound up being gifted to me later when I was a little bit older, and that actually sent me into a really big tailspin. We'll get to that when I came back from overseas. So, you know, that happened. So I have more CSA that's happening in the home from my uncle in the basement with the photos, the drug usage. You know, my mother was MIA. At some point, my mother gets baited into taking us to her adoptive family's house to stay there for a little while. I don't know how we got there, but we did. And we stayed in the basement of their house. So we all shared a bed because there was no bed for us. There was just one bed at the bottom in like a living room area and like a little kitchenette system down there. And we stayed there for a little while. My mom, you know, gave them money and stuff, and they would abuse her, nitpick her. I remember them saying a lot of racial slurs towards her, and them being very highly critical of us being in the home. Like we weren't allowed to touch anything, eat anything, you know, look at them, like anything like that. And she had one cousin that lived there with her, and his name was Joey, and he was always very interested in us and in me, and he would have what he called tickle times. He would have tickle times with me in the bedroom. Like he would like try to take me back to the private room when my mom didn't know, and eventually she said you can't take her back there. So he would have these tickle times in the living room. But one night, going back to Christopher, I told you there's a lot with Christopher. My mother invites this man over. She is having relations with this man in the bed with me right next to them. So I'm awake. I can see them, feel them. They're literally touching me. They're bumping into me. My mom is, you know, doing whatever. They're doing all these tricks and chips. And then he winds up getting up, you know, like kind of throwing her back and leaves. And then my mom kind of falls asleep. And I lay there the whole time staring at the ceiling. And I remember feeling sick. Like, I felt like I was going to throw up. I just was nauseated. In my mind, I was like, because remember, I have a lot of CSA. So I saw that as like my mom was going through the same thing that I was going through. And I was like, I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. Mind you, I'm 6 or 7 at this time. I think I was like just 6, turning 6 or 7. And so I got up and I went to the bathroom and I ate almost an entire bottle of Tums before my mom came in the bathroom and found me on the floor because I had thrown up, and I had like maybe the bottom half of the Tums bottle left. And she was like, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you doing in here? And I just told her, I remember telling her, I just have an upset stomach. Because I was scared to say anything, because for me, when those things happened to me, it had to be a secret. Like I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. And like, so I was like, okay, well, she's not going to tell me, and I don't want to tell her I know, because, you know, you get where I'm going. You pick up what I'm laying down. So I find out later on that that person that she was in the bed with was actually Christopher, my uncle Christopher. So my mom slept with my uncle in the same bed as me, with us touching each other, which was the same man who OD'd multiple times. We had a Narcan in front of me, and had his, you know, drugs in front of me. It was the same man who assaulted SA in the basement with the ferrets and the pictures and all of that stuff. So, you know, this man was assaulting her child and then also sleeping with the mother of the child. So it was just it was a mess. It was an absolute literal mess. So that goes on for a year. That goes on for a year before my father winds up coming to New Jersey from Korea. So he doesn't know about any of that. He doesn't know that that happened, but apparently he was doing his own thing in Korea, because remember, they were separated. And from New Jersey, we go to move to, which was first, Germany or England? To Germany. And, but we had a little bit of like a delay because of 9/11 happened and everything. So that was so, you know, I remember standing in the living room watching the towers, and then the second plane hit, and I had, you know, my little suitcase, and I was just watching it. So yeah, it was around that time, but we wind up going from New Jersey to Germany. So Germany, it calms down a little bit, but Germany is really where the racial stuff comes back around. Come back around, and it gets really like heavy in that department. So we'll talk about that again. Take a breath, take a breather. Thank you for listening. I'm fine. This one was a hard tell if you can't tell, but I'm okay. Thank you for your well wishes, and I will see you for the next part of the story.
Any white man agreeing that he needs to get a gun to defend himself because he dates a black woman, you're racist and you're afraid. That needs to be dealt with before dating anybody of color. So before you decide to go experience your fetish with the black woman, understand that you're a racist that wants a reason to shoot somebody black. Okay? So if you're a white man and you are dating a black woman, you have to be smart enough to understand that, hey, she's black. I'm going to be around some black people now. Because you're probably not around black people. You just happen to sniff out one black girl that you decided to go court. Okay? So now you got her. Now know and understand. All that racism that's inside of you that wants to shoot somebody black, that shit got to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere. Because you're choosing to be involved with this black woman. You understand what I'm saying? You're choosing to stand beside her. So now all your fear of these black men is going to be amplified because now you're around a gang of black people. And black man's going to look at you. And your fear is going to be thinking, they trying to get me. They trying to get me. Let me go get a gun. No. Listen, calm your racist ass down. Go learn how to fight. And learn how to fight so well that you have full confidence in walking outside with your woman, no matter what color she is, and no matter what color any man is that steps to you and shows you any aggression, your hands work. You're not going to need a gun. Learn how to defend yourself. Learn how to fight to the point that you're confident without a gun. Black men are not out here looking at you white boys like, oh, I gotta kill this white boy because he got my sister. Like, bro, you're racist. Calm your ass down, okay? Go get you some boxing lessons, you know what I'm saying? And shit, you cleanse yourself, you know what I'm saying? Maybe go to church. Maybe try to fight that racist demon out that's inside of you, you know what I'm saying? Don't shoot nobody. Don't get a gun. We see how well white people are with guns. We don't need y'all getting more guns, okay? Just chill out.
This guy was a racist neo-Nazi for 20 years, but meeting this black woman completely changed his life. So Michael Kent had always been a violent white supremacist who only worked with white people and committed hate crimes against black people. But when he was arrested, he never expected meeting Tiffany Whittier to change his life. When she met Michael for the first time, she joked that he should replace his Nazi signs with positive smiley faces. Surprisingly, he listened to her, and Tiffany slowly started to feel like family to him. Their friendship made him less hateful to others who weren't white, but his biggest change was covering his racist tattoos to commemorate his new perspective on life.
No one is more obsessed with black men than white men are. Every single time you come across a video of a black man in a happy relationship with a white woman and you look in the comments, it's always some dumbass white person being like, future single mother, oh my god. You know damn well if that fucking dumbass went up to this couple and said it to their face in person, they'd get their ass whooped. If you're gonna be a fucking racist, at least do it in person. See what happens. See what happens. Don't be a fucking ball sack and hide behind your screen and comment on all these posts on a fucking alt account with no profile picture, no information about you. And if you didn't think it could get any worse, it has, because now you got these stupid ass like teenage boys making videos about how, oh, I would never date a woman if one of her exes was white. It's very clear what this is about. If you're small, just say that. I don't know. Get help. Go get therapy.
So I see a lot of interracial couples do videos, couples where it's a black woman and a white man. They do videos kind of with the premise to prove how down the white guy is, you know. So like one I saw here lately was how she would ask questions that only black people should know. So she would proceed to ask him, what's a bonnet? What's a sew-in, a leave-out, edges? And I know it's lighthearted, nothing wrong with having a little humor about things. But as a white man who was married to my ex-wife, who I raised 2 sons with, I was married to her for 23 years. She was black. And I'm currently have been married to my wife, who is black now, for 2 years. I was a little offended by it because it kind of says like maybe that's all there is to black women. You know, the black women are just edges and bonnets. And there's so much more. There's so much more. And there's a deeper side to interracial relationship, especially in that form where it's a black woman with a white man. So I kind of want to just see a video where it takes a deeper dive and she asks him a question like, what are your thoughts and feelings on her, how she navigates this world as a black woman? What are his thoughts and feelings on how he will help her to raise her black children or their interracial children together, who the world will see as black? Is he aware of his white privilege? How does he feel about the Sandra Bland case? Does he believe in that just comply lie? What are his thoughts on the terms Black Lives Matter or the new Jim Crow, or the analogy of mass incarceration just being the new slave plantation? I know you might be like, okay, you're going too deep with it, but am I though? I mean, I understand that this generation, interracial relationships is more widely accepted now than when I was coming up. I'm 52. But even still, eventually, whether directly or indirectly, racism, bigotry, hatred is going to come for you as individuals or as a couple. And how he, as a white man with a black woman, responds and handles those moments means way more than whether he knows what a bonnet is. I mean, I think the reason I feel so deeply about this, I do come from a different generation. I experienced racism in so many ways with the relationships that I had. Everything from when I was dating my ex-wife in high school, my parents kicked me out the house because they did not agree. And I had to live with my ex and her mother for a while. From there to later on in life, I was robbed at gunpoint by 2 racist white men. And when they, after seeing a picture of me and my ex in my wallet, one of them pressed the gun to my temple and said he should kill me because I was an N-word lover. So these experiences have, you know, affected me deeply in the way I approach things. Plus the fact that so many black men and women in my life have had such a profound effect on who I am as a man, as a father, as a husband. So I have a deep respect and reverence for black love. And I acknowledge and openly accept the history, the racist history of this country. If we go from slave master to Jim Crow to civil rights to the flooding of drugs into black neighborhoods by the CIA, all which were a systematic genocidal attempt to break down black families, black marriages. I accept that history. I have a working knowledge of it, and I don't run from it. Like, because that history at times has made me feel a sense of guilt of like, am I helping in that teardown by me as a white man being with a black woman. And I don't run from that though. I embrace it because it makes me make sure that I'm coming correct. You know, that because I feel that sense of responsibility that I have to not just love her as my woman, but to fully see her, know her to the best of my white privileged self as a black woman, and to make sure that I know that history, that I love her in a way that honors, respects, and celebrates her blackness. So again, I'm not trying to rain on, parade. Like love in all forms, all levels is beautiful. And I wish all the best to every couple, no matter what combination of race, sexuality, whatever. And peace and blessings to everybody. But I do think that when it comes to a white man being with a black woman, that there is a certain responsibility that comes with that. That you should be a student of her. I mean, first off, the most important thing is that you just love her for who she is, right? But you also gotta know, love, respect, honor, celebrate her as a black woman, because that's how the world sees her, and that's the world she has to navigate. And she needs to know that she has your support, that you are there for her. Like when I went through those things, when I was with my ex-wife, with my parents and things, like I didn't back down. I was built for it. I had her back, whatever the cost. So I just think that those things are way more important than, you know, you showing you down because you know what a bond is. Like, show you're down for her, because show the world that you know that she is more than her hair care. Love her, honor, celebrate her as a black woman. Again, I know you might be like, yo, you're going too deep. I'm not saying every white man got to go read Malcolm, but it wouldn't hurt. Just wanted to give a different perspective, because it is a deeper side, because there are things that the world will throw at you, and it matters in that response, especially on his side. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Peace.
Every accusation is a confession. I will not elaborate.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.